Listen, dear, I realize that you've been hurt deeply because I've been there. But regardless to who, what, why, when, and where, we're all precious in His sight. And a rose is still and always will be a rose.
Welcome to another episode of the Relapse and Recovery Chronicles. And today we're going to be talking about what recovery looks like. What that looked like for me. What the process means. And basically the changes that I start to see when I'm actually following spiritual principles in my recovery. For me, what recovery looks like is not perfection, but progress. And in progress, I mean when you're able to self-check, when you're able to look at any mistakes or any hindrances, any resentments that you have, and you're able to look at what part you play in it and point it out, be able to acknowledge it. If an apology is owed, give it. If you feel like you need an apology, learn how to accept and move on when people aren't where you are spiritually in order to apologize. Not taking things personal and always understanding that people have their own things going on. And that if you can't help them, don't hurt them. And don't be a part of the hurt. You know, that's what recovery looks like for me. Because as I recover, I realize that my sanity and my peace are the most precious things, the most precious commodities I could have while I'm doing recovery. And when certain situations come about that start to take that peace, that serenity, that important commodity from me, I let that situation go. I don't hold on to the situation. I don't try to control the situation. I don't try to change the situation. I let it go. It's not mine no more because it costs too much. If it's costing me my serenity, my peace, my foundation, just my sanity, like I said. And for me, that's what recovery looks like. Letting go of wanting control over things that you really don't have control over, like people, other people and their choices and their decisions, things that you really, really don't have no control over whatsoever. Right now, I'm reevaluating what I believe to be important to me in my life, what my dreams are, what my goals are, and for the most part, they're the same. They haven't really changed, but the structure of it is kind of changing. What I feel like I need in order to make certain things happen is changing, because lo and behold, the longer that I'm in my sobriety, the more I realize that I don't need to know how everything is going to work out. I just need to keep knowing that everything will work out if I'm doing what it is that I need to do. You get what I'm saying? So that's just basically a little update for y'all, because I ain't did a video in a minute and I felt like I needed to do one. Have some photos and video of me and my children at Chuck E. Cheese again for my oldest little girl's birthday. Here's some footage of that. You need a haircut. You need your hair braided.
No.
Hey, Trinity. Trinity. Hey. Hey, Trinity. Hey, Trinity.
Pound it. That's for not pounding it.
Hey, have a seat, ma'am.
It's okay. Let me hold it.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday How old are you?
10.
Happy birthday, dear Lanaya. Happy birthday to
Me.
you. And many more. Make a wish. You didn't make no wish. You just blew the candles out.
I was supposed to say it out loud.
Oh, okay. Well, hey.
Let me.
Yay! Cake time, cake time, cake time, cake time.
And can I have? No. Here. I just said I didn't even say anything.
What are you doing, little girl?
This is my.
Now, as I was saying, um, yeah, that's really what recovery looks like to me. Me being able to be a mom to my children, me being able to guide them, direct them, guard them, protect them, teach them, nurture them. That's really what my sobriety is starting to be a lot about. Me learning what it is that I need to know in order to be of better assistance to them and myself. You know, we're all on separate journeys. Everybody came to learn something different. Nobody came to learn the same thing. And if you did come to learn the same thing, you'll run into the person you need to learn it with at that time. And when the lesson is over with, you may not see that person again. What I'm learning to do is let go of people when it's time to let them go instead of trying to hold on to them and keep room for them in my life, which ends up blocking my blessings. I'm keeping them in the spot that God would probably put my blessings in if I would just remove them. Not even people, places and things, you know. I'm just learning that I need to trust my feelings. I need to trust me. You know, not trusting yourself is the most painful thing in the world to go through because you know you better than anybody else does. The God in you knows you better than anybody else does. So why wouldn't you trust yourself? It's when we start letting people make us feel like we crazy and we don't know what we talking about is when we start really losing it. I noticed that's normally when I start going down the rabbit hole. Is when I stop trusting myself, my gut, and my instincts, those beautiful gifts, feelings, beautiful, beautiful gifts that God gave us, called feelings. When I stop trusting those, then it's a problem. I can only imagine what it's like to never have trusted yourself and always trusted in others only to be let down repeatedly all the time. Me at this point, I see it coming. I be like, nigga, I see this coming and let me just let it happen to make sure that I was right. That way when it's finished and it's done with, I was like, I knew that was going to happen. I saw that coming. You know, it doesn't hurt as bad. And then it's just going to get to a point, I hope, to where I see it coming and I just be like, stop. Stop right there, sir, ma'am, Mr. whatever, Missy. Stop right there. I don't have time for the bullshit. I don't have time for the bullshit. I see this is some bullshit, and I don't have the boots on to step in it, sir. Go on about your business, ma'am. That's where I'm hoping I get to. But until then, now for right now, I just see the bullshit. I see it coming, and I just be like, just to make sure I'm right, let me let it go down the way that I think it's going to go down. That way I know next time it come around that I'm right. Let's just not keep the cycle going to where I'm just letting the shit happen when I know I'm right, though. Yeah, that's where I'm at. Recovery is a beautiful thing. Sobriety is a beautiful thing. You know, I'm following the principles, practicing the principles. But more importantly, what I know to be true is that the law is the law, no matter where you go. The principles are the principles in and out of addiction. They apply in and out of addiction. You know, and if you don't take anything from this, remember this: if you do relapse, still practice those principles. I guarantee you, you're going to come out and fare a whole lot better. And if anything, you're going to learn a lot about yourself. Stop letting these relapses be for nothing. If you're going to do it, let it be for a reason, and let it be a reason that suits you. Even if you make up an excuse to just say, I'm going to go use, make sure that after you fuck your life up like that, you come out of it. If God willing, you come out of it. Because a lot of people don't make it back. So don't think that I'm advocating for relapse. Just understand this. People make mistakes. We all fall short of the glory. If you go back down that road, learn as you go. Come out with some information that you can share with others. That's it. That's all. You know, I realized that's what I did this last go around. And I'm not saying my relapse was no better than anybody else's, but I practiced those principles while I was in my addiction. And I did fare a whole lot better than any other relapse I've ever had. And that's just the God honest truth. And so for me, that just proves that those principles apply in and out of addiction. Wherever you go, you take yourself and you take those principles with you, and you will get the same results in different situations in and out of addiction. The same results. You'll be okay. You'll be all right. You'll be safe, you'll be protected, and there is a certain amount of respect that comes to a person that practices principles. Understand that, no matter whether you're in or out of your addiction. So, yeah, I'm just, excuse my nail, that motherfucker popped off at work. I'm just really looking back and trying to evaluate where I'm at. Self-evaluation is important. It's very important, especially when you're in recovery. Figuring out, what it is you may be lacking when you're stressed, what it is that you may be in need of when you're feeling antsy or insecure or anxious is important. Figuring yourself out is important. But really, that's all I wanted to come and say. You know, I just had that on my mind. You know what I'm saying? Just wanted to come chop it up with y'all about that for a second, what my recovery is looking like. And for the most part, it's looking pretty good. I'm just doing a lot of self-checking. And I think that you get to a point in your recovery where nobody else has to check you. You just automatically start checking yourself, because there are certain steps in that book. When I say the book, a lot of the principles that come from the Bible are in the AA book and the NA book. This is really how I think they came up with those 12 steps, so that you could have a spiritual awakening. But then it could come from, what do they call it? The emerald tablets and the Tahoti Thoth. Y'all know what I'm talking about. The ancient walls and shit like that. Those principles apply. They are the truth. They don't bend, break, or change for nobody. Whether you know about them or not, they are in play. And energy is energy. It don't discriminate. It don't know whether you was right or wrong, or whether the other person was right or wrong. All it knows is you gonna get what you give. Period. Simple as that. You gonna get what you give. And I try not to give bullshit, because I don't want no bullshit back. Simple as that. So, this has been another episode of the Relapse and Recovery Chronicles. This is your girl, Irose from the concrete. And I hope y'all took something from this little message today. I'll holler at you. Bye.